To evaluate functions, all we're trying to do is find the output for a given input. For example, here we have f of t equals 4t plus 11 all over 3t squared plus 5t plus 1, and we want to find f of negative 6. Now negative 6 is going to be our input, so all I need to do for that is wherever we have t, I'm going to put in negative 6. So instead of 4t, I put 4 times negative 6. Then I have plus 11 all over 3. Instead of t, I put in negative 6 squared plus 5 times, instead of t, negative 6 plus 1. Then you're just going to solve from there. So in my numerator, I'm going to have negative 24 plus 11. This is going to become, on the bottom, 3 times negative 6 squared is 36 minus 30 plus 1. And if I evaluate that whole thing, my final answer is going to be negative 13 over 79. Let's say they wanted us to evaluate f of 4t. Now this is going to be the same principle. It doesn't matter what's in this parentheses, what we're putting in. It's just replacing the t in our original function. So here we're going to have 4. Instead of t, we're going to have 4t plus 11 all over 3. Instead of t squared, we're going to have 4t squared plus 5. Instead of t again, we're going to have 4t and plus 1. And if we evaluate that, we're going to get 16t plus 11 all over. This is going to turn, this 4t squared is going to be 4t times 4t, which is 16t squared plus 20t plus 1. And if I simplify all that, I'm going to end up with 16t squared plus 11, 16t plus 11 all over 48t squared plus 20t plus 1. Let's do one more of these really quickly. Here we have f of 3 minus 2a. Now it doesn't matter what's in this parentheses. All that's going to happen here is this is going to replace our t. So this is going to give us 4 instead of t. We're going to have 3 minus 2a. Just switching what's in here exactly for this t here. Then we'll have plus 11 all over 3. Now instead of the t, again we replace it with 3 minus 2a. That's going to be squared plus 5t, or 3 minus 2a. And we still have this plus 1 on the end. Now all we do is simplify that from there. We'll distribute the top. That'll give us 12 minus 8a plus 11 all over 3 times. Now this 3 minus 2a squared, we're going to have to FOIL that out. That's going to be 3 minus 2a times 3 minus 2a, in which we're going to have to distribute all that, plus 5, 3 minus 2a, plus 1. Alright, I'll let you go ahead and do that out, but after we finish evaluating that, our final answer is going to be negative 8a plus 23 all over 12a squared minus 46a plus 43. Now here we have a piecewise function. A piecewise function basically takes pieces of different functions and puts them together. Here we have f of x equals negative 4x plus 3 if x is less than 3. So for all values less than 3, this is our function. We have negative x cubed if x is between 3 and 8. So if we have 3 through 8, this is going to be the function we use. And lastly, we have 3x squared plus 1 if x is greater than 8. So first, let's go ahead and see if we can find f of negative 5. Now, my negative 5, I'm going to take over here and see which category it falls in. Well, negative 5 is less than 3, so I'm going to be using this function, negative 4x plus 3. So I know I'm going to use negative 4x plus 3. And I'm going to be plugging into the x my negative 5. So instead of x, I'll put negative 5 plus 3. And my answer is going to be 20 plus 3, which is going to just be 23. Next, why don't we find f of 10? Well, I'm going to take a look over here, and I notice that 10 is greater than 8, so this is the function I'm going to use. So I'm going to have this equal to 3x squared plus 1, and for x I'm going to be plugging in 10. That gives me 3 times 10 squared, plugging that 10 in for x, plus 1, and my answer is just going to be 10 squared is 100 times 3 is 300, 301. So these piecewise functions aren't any more difficult than the others. All you have to do is see which piece of the function they're wanting you to refer to based on these given conditions on the right. The last way we could evaluate functions is just by using the graph. Let's say this red graph represents our function f of x, and they want you to find f of, let's say, negative 4. All we need to do is go to the x value of negative 4. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 4 here. And then what is the y value at that point? Well, this y value is 0. So for f of negative 4, this would be 0. See, because this point here is negative 4, 0. Let's try another one. Let's say we wanted to find f of 5. Well, I'm just going to go find my x value of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I go up to my y value. Let's say that's right here. My y value is right here at 5, and it looks like that y value at 5 is 3. So my f of 5 is going to equal 3. Let's just go ahead and do one more. Let's say we wanted to find f of 0. Well, my x value is 0 right here, and the y value at that point looks like it's about 2.5. See, 1, 2.5. So f of 0 is going to equal 2.5. Again, all you need to do is go to the x value, wherever that is, and find the y value that corresponds with that x value.